Hey guys, it's Firestar here. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Stadium 2. Last episode we went and finished off the Little Cup. It only took us, 2 episodes, and it was probably one of the only cups that went relatively smoothly. However, today, we've been having some bad luck in battles, So let's brush up on our battling skills. So in this episode, we're gonna spend some time hanging around Earl's Pokemon Academy. Now the Academy split up into 2 sections: the classroom and the library. In the library, you can kind of look through, the items. It's kind of like think of the library section as like, okay. Remember, I'm trying to figure a way to describe this. I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with like this little Pokedex handbook. I'm pretty sure some of you guys had as a kid. Think of the library as that. It's kind of like, it's just a resource for you to access to understand what the items in the games and stuff do. Not just items, the items do Pokemon, they're what they're strong against, what they're weak against, their stats, when they evolve and stuff, moves they learn through level up in both Red, Blue, Yellow, and Gold and Silver. Their egg moves, the TMs they learn. If they're able to learn it in Red, Blue, and Yellow, it'll show those TMs as well, which is kind of cool. So it's just, the library in itself is just a handy resource. To type matchups, egg moves, yada yada yada. However, for this episode, we're going to be spending a lot of time in the classroom. Now, here's how the classroom works. We have, of course, 3 class levels: the trainer class, the gym leader class, and the elite 4 class. So essentially, trainer class like the most basic parts of battling, and then we move on to we start to apply the trainer class stuff, and a little more stuff in the gym leader class, and then the elite 4 class is really when you try to give you all the advanced strategies, and it's pretty much where you put everything together, essentially. Now for each class, there are 3 things you can do. There's the lecture portion where you just have a list of things for you to learn, and then in order to kind of complete that lecture, you get asked a trivia question, essentially. Answer that question correctly, and you pass the lecture. Then we move on to the test section. Here, it's a 10-question multiple choice quiz, and I think you need to get like at least 8 out of 10 right to pass. I'm not sure if it's 8 out of 10 or completely all of them. I don't know. And then we have the versus section of the test, where essentially each battle practices a specific lecture or concept from the lecture section, and you have to win a battle choosing 3 correct Pokemon. Three correct. You have to choose out of the 6 Pokemon given to you. You have to pick the 3 correct ones to combat the enemy team. And if you pick, and in order to successfully accomplish the battle, you must win with those by choosing the 3 correct Pokemon. We'll get more into that when we get to the verses. Today's episode will mostly focus on the lecture section and the versus section. As you see with the Gold Star test, it's fairly straightforward. If you guys have played Pokemon, not even competitively, in a casual sense, you'll know everything here. So, lecture time. All right, explaining the common rules. Yes, you're Earl. Okay. This is essentially just going over the rules for the Pokemon Stadium game itself. So let's just move straight to the trivia question. I love talking about Pokemon. What is my name? Hi, Earl. Thank you, Earl. I am such a good listener. Alright, battle rules. Alright, two more Pokemon can be frozen or sleep at the same time. That's known as the sleep clause in competitive. You can't use self-destruct or explosion if you're putting out the last Pokemon. If you do, you will lose automatically, even though like you'll lose automatically even though you're the one who, even if the opponent dies from the self-destruct explosion. And if you're on your last Pokemon, Destiny Bond and Parasong will never work, essentially. Alright. What I just said applies to which battle in Pokemon? Yep, all these rules you read apply to all battles. Level evolution notes. For one thing, Pokemon that evolve by leveling up learn moves much more slower than they did before they evolved. So essentially, it's the principle of leveling up. Pokemon learn moves faster in their baby forms. When Pokemon evolve, they are stronger but learn moves slower. And canceling evolution, yada yada yada. Again, these are all things kind of people who have at least played these games in a casual sense know. So that had nothing to do with the lecture, but it's Marowak, but that had nothing to do with the lecture. He just whatever. All right. Special evolutions. So this essentially covers evolutions that aren't through level up. So evolutions through like stones, blah blah blah. And it also mentions that some Pokemon, when you evolve through these special methods like stones and stuff, they may not have access to certain moves when they evolve. That's composed to the access they have prior to that evolution. Yeah. Alright, next question. When evolving Pokemon, what did I say you should consider? Moves. Alright. So yeah, essentially how I'm handling this is just abbreviated versions of these lectures because I'm not gonna go through all these. A lot of you guys know what all of these are, but for the sake of game completion, which we're gonna do for this LP, we're still gonna go through them. Alright, type combinations. No. Okay, this is essentially covering type matchups. So essentially, if like use a water move on a fire type Pokemon, it does double the damage. If you use a grass type move on a fire Pokemon, it does half the damage, kind of thing. That's what they're covering. It's pretty much knowing which type is effective against what. And that's what the library is good for, to understand those type matchups and see what type is good against what, because it has the whole type chart thing laid out. So like this type is good against this type, yada yada. Now this type, it doesn't affect this type, that kind of thing. Alright. What's this question? How many types of Pokemon are there in all? I mean, technically, with the introduction of Fairy type, it's 18, but this point in time it was 17. Type changes. Oh, it's pretty much explained the two new types are introduced in Gold and Silver, which were Dark and Steel. Dark. And I think it's interesting because I think, Steel being introduced as a defensive type that's resistant to a lot of things, and Dark type's introduction kind of helped weaken a lot of the Psychic Pokemon in Gen 1 because Psychic Pokemon were extremely powerful with high special stats and speed, which is probably kind of one of the big things you needed to be a successful Pokemon in that generation. But I digress. Alright, quiz done. Where do I recommend that you study and review data in the library? Duh. Half of these questions don't pertain to the lessons game-wide. Moves and Pokemon types. Alright, this is essentially referring to talking about stab. Alright, this is essentially talking about the concept of stab. For anyone who doesn't know what stab is, it's an acronym for same type attack bonus. Where if a Pokemon uses a move that's the same type as it, that move will increase in damage by 50%. And there are no bonus effects. Say like, as Earl mentioned in the lecture, if Gengar uses Confuse Ray, there's no bonus like accuracy or anything out of it. Oh my god. Which type of move is powered up 1.5 times when used by a fighting type Pokemon? A fighting type of move, well. Alright, what's next one? Support moves. Now, essentially, support moves. We have three types of moves. We have physical moves, we have special moves, and then we have support moves. Support moves are those moves that don't do damage. So, like, stat reducing moves like Leer, Growl, Tail Whip, and stuff. And then we have the moves that inflict status conditions like Thunder Wave and Confuse Ray and stuff. Moves that heal, like Heal Bell, like Leech Seed. All of those are status moves. Moves that do not do any form of damage, but provide that really mainly only provide effects to the enemy Pokemon or your own Pokemon in a battle. Oh, I'm sitting uncomfortably. My neck is kind of hurting a little bit. Oh god. Which move restores all status problems for all the Pokemon on your team? Heal Bell. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening to my lecture. Oh my god, I need more of these. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, 7 more. Okay. Alright, recovery moves. Essentially, we all know those moves that recover Pokemon. Pretty much moves that recover Pokemon. You have your basic moves that recover half, like Recover and stuff. Then you have the weather healing moves, Morning Sun Synthesis and Moonlight, which under no weather conditions, like under no weather conditions they heal half, but the amount changes depending on the weather. And then we have the moves that do damage and then heal you for half the damage taken. And then we have that move Rest that just heals all status problems and restores your health to full. At the flip side of with the negative drawback of you being asleep for 2 turns, which is always set. Alright. Quiz time. Which move inflicts damage and restores the user's AP by half the damage inflicted? Dream Eater. You know, because I eat your dreams at night. I haunt you. Alright, set damage moves. This is essentially moves that deal a set amount of damage regardless of stats. The most common one, the 2 basic ones would be Sonic Boom and Dragon Rage. Sonic Boom always doing 20 and Dragon Rage always doing 40. Because it's moves like that the reason why those moves aren't allowed in the Little Cup. And if anyone who has ever done a Nuzlocke challenge, those moves are extremely helpful in a Nuzlocke, like early on, because of that set damage. And then it goes about talking moves like Nightshade, Seismic Toss that deal damage based on the user's current level. And then there's Sideway. I'm just gonna read what Sideway does because I can't explain it that well. The Psychic type move Psywave is an interesting move. At its weakest, it can inflict only 1 HP damage. At its strongest, it inflicts damage that is 1.5 times the normal level, or the level of the user using the move. Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. Quiz time. Which move inflicts damage regardless of the attack and defense stats? 5 big thoughts because I like to hurl you up and down and across the world. Move changes. Okay, essentially this is a lecture about how moves have changed from the red, blue, and yellow to gold and silver. So, actually, I'll just talk about this as we read through it in case anyone doesn't know the transitional changes of moves. Bite became a dark move, Karate Chop became a fighting move, Gust became a flying move. The damage of double-edged wing attack and dig have changed. The accuracy changed from Blizzard, Whirlwind, and Rock Throw. Fun fact, in Gen 1, Red, Blue, and Yellow, Blizzard had 90% accuracy. Which is freaking crazy. The mechanics for Whirlwind change. Whirlwind just kind of... If you're in a trainer battle, Whirlwind did absolutely nothing because its purpose was to blow away wild Pokemon. But now in Gen 2 and up, Whirlwind just kind of forces, if you're in a trainer battle, it forces the current Pokemon out and brings a random one from the trainer's roster in. So it's interesting. Yeah, okay. Lecture time. Quiz time. Quiz time. Light screen lasts for how many turns? 5. And if you're playing in later generations with the light clay, it actually lasts until 8. Residual effect changes. Wait. In the past, if a target Pokemon's type was identical to an attack, the attack move's added effect would never work. Oh, essentially saying even if an electric type Pokemon uses an electric move against something, it'll still get paralyzed. You know, they got rid of that in like 6th gen. Essentially, it's saying a poison type Pokemon can't be poisoned, fire type Pokemon can't be burned, and ice type Pokemon can't be frozen. This is essentially what this lecture is. Not being affected by statuses of their own types. And then Gen 6 took that further by making grass Pokemon immune to powder type moves like Stun, Spore, Sleep Powder, and stuff, which is actually just makes a lot of sense. Here's a question. Which condition do ice type Pokemon not easily become? They don't easily become frozen. Because, you know, ice frozen, you know, it makes a lot of sense. What's next? Oh my god, 3 more. Alright, if you win a battle, stay without a Pokemon fainting, you're gonna continue. In trouble, the first button is to switch it. Keep your Pokemon safe certainly is important. Essentially, the big thing about switching is it takes 1 turn. You can't switch and perform an action in the same turn. So you gotta. It's essentially saying be smart about when you want to switch Pokemon and being smart about what you switch into. Wait. Although it may be painful, you might be better off to keep the hurt Pokemon in the battle until it faints. Wow, Earl. I'm not advocating Pokemon to live. Okay, bad, Professor. Bad. There are times when one must like, oh my. Elliot, you are the dumb little... let me not finish that statement. Give the question. What did I say was important when you're switching Pokemon? To endure because you are dumb as rocks. Special attack and special. Alright, Gen 1, it was just a special stat that encompasses a compass, but with special attack and special defense. In Gen 2, it's like, okay, guys, they're two different stats now, as opposed to just one. So, you know, essentially, back in Gen 1, when moves like Amnesia raised the special stat, it actually raised both their special attack and special defense. And now with this split, they're moves that have more focus. Although, fun fact, the zinc vitamin in gold and silver just says it raises special, which means it'll raise both special attack and special defense still. So that's a fun thing to keep in mind. The stat special was split into special attack and what? Special defense. Because, you know, we're all very special people. One more. Alright, hold items. Basically, Gen 2 introduced the ability to hold items to improve our Pokemon's effectiveness in battle. Some like increase stats, some increase the power of certain moves, and the hold items just have to become a big, larger variety throughout each generation. Here's a question. Which type of move is powered up if a Pokemon is holding a Hearthstone? A rock type move. A rock type move. Because, you know, I go in hard as a motherfucker.